Welcome to Enhanced Smart Skills. Have you ever been on a team that feels like it's just spinning its wheels? You're constantly busy, but you're not actually getting any better. Well, you're about to learn the one secret that separates the teams that just work hard from the teams that actually win. And this applies to everything, from a school project all the way up to your career. This is key.
Yeah, we've all been there, right? Your calendar is packed with meetings. You've got endless tasks, looming deadlines. You're always in motion. But it just feels like you're stuck on a treadmill. So the real question we need to ask is, are we actually improving? Or are we just busy?
And this quote from Gene Kim just nails it. The goal isn't just to do the work, it's to get better at how we do the work every single day. And in this explainer, I'm going to show you exactly how the very best teams on the planet make that happen.
Okay, so what is this big secret? Well, after a massive 2-year study, Google discovered that the single most important factor in their high-performing teams wasn't raw talent or experience or who had the highest IQ. Nope. It was something they called psychological safety.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Psychological safety. It sounds kind of corporate, maybe a little fluffy, right? But stick with me here, because this one concept is the absolute foundation that turns a group of talented individuals into a truly unstoppable team. So, what on earth is it?
At its heart, it's really simple. It's about creating an environment of trust. It's that feeling, deep down, that you can be yourself. That you can ask a dumb question, pitch a crazy idea, or admit you made a mistake, all without fear of being shut down, embarrassed, or punished for it.
And look, this isn't just some nice-to-have thing to boost office morale. The lack of psychological safety can have devastating, real-world consequences. Let me show you exactly what I mean.
Think about the Space Shuttle Columbia. During its launch, a skilled engineer spotted a potential problem. A piece of foam had damaged the wing. But he didn't push his concerns as forcefully as he could have. Why? He was worried. Worried about being seen as a troublemaker, about the potential career blowback. That fear, that human hesitation born from a lack of safety, meant his critical concerns were never fully addressed, and it led to an unthinkable tragedy. It's an extreme example, but it shows us that silence, when it's driven by fear, can be catastrophic.
So that's a powerful lesson in what can go terribly wrong. How do we get it right? Well, let's look at a really simple but powerful framework you can use to diagnose your own team's culture right now.
Now, what's really cool about this is that it gives us a map of team culture. On one axis, we have psychological safety, how safe people feel, and on the other, we have accountability, that drive for excellence and high standards. This creates 4 very different zones. Let's break them down.
First up, down here in the bottom left is the apathy zone. Low safety, low accountability. This is where nobody feels safe enough to speak up, but nobody is really pushed to perform either. It's an environment of quiet disengagement, where people just punch the clock and do the bare minimum to not get fired.
Next, we have the comfort zone. And this one's tricky, because on the surface, it feels kind of nice. Everyone is friendly, everyone gets along, but because accountability is low, nobody is ever really challenged. This is where good ideas go to die, because nobody wants to rock the boat or risk failure. Then there's the high-pressure anxiety zone. Here, the standards are incredibly high, but safety is in the basement. This creates a culture of fear. Everyone is terrified of making a mistake, which, ironically, leads to people covering up errors and ultimately producing lower quality work. It's a recipe for burnout.
And finally, this is our goal. This is the magic quadrant, the learning zone. This is the sweet spot where you have both high psychological safety and high accountability. Teams here feel safe enough to experiment, to innovate, and even to fail because they're all highly motivated to learn from those failures and achieve amazing things together. This is where true high performance lives.
So how do we power a team to get into that learning zone and stay there? Well, it takes a specific kind of fuel, and that fuel is something you may have heard of before: developing a team-wide growth mindset.
So, a fixed mindset is the belief that your talents are just set in stone. You're either good at something or you're not. But a growth mindset is the total opposite. It's the core belief that you can develop your abilities through dedication and hard work. Teams with a growth mindset don't see challenges as threats. They see them as opportunities. They don't just accept feedback, they actively learn from it. And they're inspired by the success of others, not threatened by it.
Okay, this is all great in theory, but how do you actually make it happen? Let's get really practical and break down some simple, powerful actions that you and your team can start taking, literally today.
If you're leading a team, and that could mean you're a manager, a team lead, or even the head of a student project, your number one job is to create the space for safety. Be approachable. Be the person people aren't afraid to talk to. Admit when you don't know something, or when you mess up. It shows you're human and builds massive trust. Ask questions instead of just giving answers. And maybe most importantly, when mistakes happen, frame them as learning opportunities, not reasons to point fingers.
And hey, this is not just on the leader. Every single team member has a role to play. Make it a habit to ask for help when you need it and to offer it freely. You could even try something fun like celebrating a mistake of the week to show that it's okay to be imperfect. And maybe the biggest thing, have the courage to speak up. Seriously, one person's courage can create a ripple effect that empowers the entire team.
Okay, let's pull all of this together. Here's what you really need to remember. First, psychological safety is the bedrock, the absolute foundation of any high-performing team. Second, the goal is to get to that learning zone, a culture of both high safety and high accountability. Third, a team-wide growth mindset is the fuel that makes all of this possible. And finally, huge cultural changes happen because of small, consistent actions from everyone on the team.
So I want to leave you with a challenge. Think about your team, whether it's at work or in a class project. What is one small thing you can do this week to make it just a little bit safer for someone to speak up, to ask a question, or to take a risk? That one small action could be the start of something truly amazing.
Remember, building great teams is a journey of continuous learning and action. You have the power to transform your team's culture. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to Enhance Smart Skills for more videos like this.